Can you eat my pizza? All right, Pharmacy family, what is going on? We are back here for another live episode of Pharmacy Unplugged. We are ready to take your practice to the next level. Today, we have an important topic. I always say that we will take you to the next level, but before your practice can actually go to any level, you need to start at the ground level, level 0. That's getting your license. We will talk about the licensing exam, sort of like the last hurdle to finish line, right? But I feel like also the hurdle that you will most likely trip and fall flat on your face. But don't worry, we are here. So hopefully this episode will help you avoid failing too many times. So make sure you stay tuned until the end. As we always do, before we begin, I want to thank you guys for tuning into our show, wherever you are from. Thanks for listening to our show, especially if you guys are here live right now. So get your fake accounts ready and start smashing the like button. Interact with us today, especially because this episode is, I guess, by demand, right?
Is it?
Yeah. Like, they want us to talk about the license exam. So here we are. So make sure you guys ask questions that you guys want to know. And we'll try to answer as much as possible. It's mainly like to guide you guys. I feel like most of you guys are students that are tuning into this episode. I don't think pharmacists will actually tune in.
Wait, are the exams coming up?
The exam is coming up. Yes.
When?
The end of May, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it twice a year?
Twice a year. So you still remember. Wow.
I just don't know when.
It's May and November, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you fail in May, you can do it in November?
That's right. If you fail again, you can do it in May again. So you can only
There's
fail
a limit, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Okay.
We should talk about that too.
Right.
Anyway, so again, make sure you guys support us. We're on Spotify. Our previous episodes are there. If you haven't checked them out already, go and pick some topics that interest you guys. Give it a go. If you guys want to have more fun, though, join us on YouTube. Interact with us live. We like interacting with you guys. We are on air every other Friday at 9 p.m., although sometimes we're on every Friday now, right? Depending on the week. We're going to try to have more episodes out because we need to reach 100, right? So
Yeah.
so
We're
make
at
sure
like,
you
what,
guys-
19, 20?
20, yes. 20 is good. It's a good number, whole number, right? So what else? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you guys turn on notifications so you know when we will have new episode out. We're on social media channel as well. If you guys like it, we're on X at Pharm Unplugged. We're on Reddit as well. We have our website, pharmacyunplugged.com, and our email is on the website as well if you guys want to reach us there. Wow, that's pretty much all I want to say. How's your week?
It's okay. I'm still sick.
You're still sick?
Yeah,
Still
sorry,
sick
sorry
like
for
2
my
weeks ago.
voice.
Yes.
Still.
Actually, no, your voice sounds good.
It gets
Yes.
worse at night.
I like the deeper voice, right? Like the raspy voice.
No, it really, like during the day, I'm okay. I still have to use my puffers. Ventolin is great, by the way. I see why patients love it.
Ventolin is good, right?
Yeah, like I just get like 2 hits of that. I'm good to go.
Wow, okay. I've never used it before. I had like, when I was coughing, sometimes I had like shortness of breath. I was thinking maybe I should ask my doctor for Ventolin
Yeah.
as well, right? Is it good to use any other?
I use the Flovent,
Flovent?
but I can't tell if that's like that takes time, right? I've been using it for maybe 2 weeks. Maybe it's doing something, but Ventolin, you really feel it right away. So I
Ventolin
see
is
how people
cheaper, too.
overuse that.
It's also cheaper, right? So like much more affordable. So
Otherwise,
you're
I
still
don't know.
sick.
The week was
You're like getting better and getting sick again all the
the
time.
week was okay. I have a PACE student.
What's the PACE student?
It's
A foreign student.
IPG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have this program called PACE now.
Oh, we should talk about IPG one time.
Yeah, we could
Too.
do a topic on that.
Yes.
But yeah, I had her all week.
Is it just 1 week?
It's 3 weeks, 1 week orientation,
Okay.
and 2 weeks of assessment.
Okay.
But basically, it's just I'm just watching her practice, and that's about it.
Where's she from?
She's from the States.
Oh, the States.
Yeah.
They have to do PACE from States?
Well, technically, you're not from Canada,
Oh, okay.
so you got to go through the international
same
program.
thing.
That's right.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I haven't been doing very much. I've just been watching her do her stuff.
So she's doing all your work for you.
So she basically, she checks. I check what she checks. She talks to patients. I just stand there and listen.
But she's a pharmacist already.
Yes, and you can't give feedback as the assessor.
Oh, you're the assessor.
Yeah,
But you cannot give
cannot
feedback?
for
What's
2
the
weeks
point?
straight.
What's the point of assessing then if you're not giving feedback?
No, you give feedback to the college at the end, but you can't give feedback to the person to the candidate.
How are they going to improve if they don't have any feedback?
That's not the point. You're not coaching. You're assessing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's like a 2-week exam basically, practical.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So if you miss something, right? You're checking something, you miss something, and I catch it. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. And you're going to tell the college?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So you fill out the form or whatever?
Yeah, they have to do like a lot of like journal entries, and then you have to fill out there's like a rubric.
What's in it for you guys, though?
I don't know. My boss told me to do it.
They probably get compensated. You don't know.
Yeah, that's right. I get my hourly wage and that's it.
But you get someone to do your job.
Yeah, it's pretty chill so far.
Okay. How many weeks is it? 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
This is like first week?
Yeah, I have one more week. That's it.
Okay. Not bad.
How's your week?
It was okay. Long day today, as you see. My pizza is still here.
I think the audience might have caught that if they were already in the channel.
Yeah, my pizza is still here. I had to come in early today because my assistant cannot work.
Do you want to eat your pizza first?
No, it's okay. I will when they're asking questions, I'll just be like eating pizza. It's okay. So I was here since 10:30 in the morning. So I'll be here like 12 hours. Anyway, and if I start saying things that makes no sense, you know why. Actually, you know what? We got audited by ESI.
Audited by ESI? Like, what do you mean? Don't they always audit you? Like, they send random audits of like prescriptions?
They do, but you know what? They send like a big list of audit, like a summary.
It was a big one?
Yes, there's like 20 items since like 3 years ago.
What?
Got to find all these stuff. Yes, I'm
What
not
kind of
very
stuff?
happy right now. Like
Just random stuff?
random stuff. If you guys cannot see, I just put on my finger. It's not thumbs up. Anyway, they send you a list of things. You have to find the prescription, image, the hard copy, the receipt, and everything, and send it to them to prove that you actually did the prescription and there's actually the prescription. So I found most of them are expensive stuff like Vyvanse and Concerta.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to be like Vyvanse and Concerta has like accounted for like almost half of the prescriptions. But anyway, my assistant pulled out all the images. I would just go through them. We had 2 weeks to do it. We got the facts, I think, on Tuesday evening. So I had until like not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday afterwards. So next week I'll put everything together and mail it to them. So that's it.
But is there a pattern to like what they're targeting?
No, I looked at. So I really briefly looked at it. There was maybe a couple of Concerta, Vyvanse, Shingrix.
So controlled substances?
No, they do everything. Shingrix, Ozempic.
High price items?
Twinrex. I guess higher price, kind of.
Okay.
Right? So obviously you're not going to audit metformin, I guess. Right?
How long did they give you?
2 weeks.
Okay,
So
it's not bad.
we had all the images.
We still have to find time to do that.
I know. So it is somewhat annoying, but it is what it is. I heard they're going around a lot now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing a lot of audits. So
I know our pharmacy gets like random
but
audits,
the random audits,
on single ones.
always comes single ones. Single ones, I find the frequencies increase as well. I'm not sure about you. We got 2 today already, the single ones, right? And usually the expensive
Seem to
ones.
be a handful every week.
Yeah. You guys are busy, obviously, right? So I'm just surprised that they actually audit things from like 3 years ago, right? So anyway.
It's any way to claw back money, right?
They put
If you don't-
the money on
if you
hold,
don't
which
have
is like $7,000.
On hold.
Yeah.
But you already got paid 3 years ago.
Yeah, but if there's something wrong with the audit, then they can take the money back, right? So which means that they're not going to pay the next payment, or they're going to take away the money
jeez.
from the next payment. So there goes my pill counter. There you go.
Just creating work for you guys.
I know. So I'm somewhat annoyed right now, and I didn't eat. So actually, I did eat in late.
Perfect
today, so
mood
that's
to
okay.
talk about exams.
That's right. So I actually wanted to talk about AI porn today, but you didn't want to do that. So I know probably not a good idea because if your wife listened to this, that's not good, right?
I guess for our listeners, probably everyone knows now.
Yeah,
if they're
so
in the
there's this-
Toronto or Canadian.
Yeah, there's a big story. You guys probably know what we're referring to. It's in a CBC article. Go read it if you guys didn't know about it.
Basically, some pharmacists from Toronto
Mm-hmm.
created some AI porn website.
That's right. So
Just got what was that, doxed?
like
Is that the word? Like his personal details are published out now.
yeah, he's still working,
Yeah.
though, I think, right? So
He is, but apparently the article said what he did is not illegal in Canada.
which is quite interesting, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe we should do an episode about like these ethical situations,
Okay.
right? In the future. Anyway, you guys can let us know if you guys want to discuss to discuss it in the future.
Or just a whole episode on like just dirty pharmacists.
Okay, yeah, we can do
Like
that.
not porn, but
So
Like things that they do behind the
Illegal.
scenes, illegal
Yeah,
stuff,
illegal stuff.
side hustles.
Crime in the pharmacy. We should have a crime episode. Turn it into like a crime podcast or whatever. I understand why we shouldn't be talking about this today as well, because your voice is not 100%, right? So you just don't want
No, I'm
me to
good.
talk about like porn by myself.
No, you can go ahead.
What?
We might lose subscribers though.
No, it's controversial stuff. People like listening to these stuff, right? Anyway, we're going to be talking about the licensing process today, right? Mainly the licensing exam, brought to you by PEBC, which stands for, I think, Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada.
Okay, very good.
Okay. When I say brought to you by, I don't mean the PEBC is sponsoring us. Okay. We don't actually
that'll be
have any
something.
sponsors. I know. We don't have any sponsors right now. Obviously.
But if they
want
are
to sponsor
listening,
us,
yes.
we're open to
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Although, they only have 1.5 star on Google review. I looked at it. So
Who's
I'm not
reviewing
really sure.
them?
I'm not really sure if
And they have a
wants to
Google review?
sponsor us. They do, yes. OCP has a Google review too. Everybody has Google review.
Let me read this.
Did you read your own Google review, like your store?
No.
So, anyway,
There's some reviews here.
on
PBC.
PBC.
Let's read one random one.
Okay.
I'm not satisfied with their service, says this user. I've been waiting almost a year to complete my document evaluation process.
Really?
I've submitted all the documents which needed for the doc evaluation process, but they are not updating the document profile. Okay. Next, be aware before you pay. Very unprofessional. Not sure who's responsible. Must look after them. Another one. I started my document evaluation process. Okay, a lot of them's talking about their paperwork process is slow. Huh. I don't know. I don't have a problem with them.
So the evaluating process is for IPGs.
I don't remember there being a delay back then.
I mean, like, there's no delay because we're not IPGs.
Okay.
So that's probably why.
Hmm.
They also make a lot of money, I think, PEBC, right? So they're probably busy counting money, right? Instead of like sponsoring useless podcasts like ours. So anyway,
They don't need advertisement.
they don't need
Everyone
advertisement.
knows who they are.
Well, people still need to pay them regardless, right? So no need to advertise.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
That is true. So I think we'll talk a little bit about the exam,
Okay.
but maybe not so much the content. I think we're not allowed to disclose them.
I don't remember that.
Although, yeah, exactly. It was 15 years ago, right? For us, literally 15 years ago. That's so long
Yeah.
ago. So I don't really know if my memory is 100% correct, but I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that I actually remember every single OSCE station that I
Oh,
did.
that's amazing.
It's actually not amazing. It's just traumatizing. So
I still remember
I
that?
still remember.
I
pretty
think I
much.
remember two.
Okay. We can talk about it off the air afterwards.
There was a rest station too.
The 4 rest stations, actually.
It's 4?
Yes.
I just remember one.
Okay, your memory.
That's how
is deteriorating.
traumatizing it was
Yes,
for me.
Okay, you're like constantly thinking about like going through. You know what I found though when I was doing a little bit of reading on like PBC, right? They're actually quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. Was it that expensive when we were students?
How much is it?
So, first of all, there's a qualifying exam that we're doing, right? If you're IPG, you do
don't remember doing
evaluating
that.
exam. No,
Okay,
qualifying
maybe
exam.
IPG.
That's the PBC's qualifying exam, right? If you're
Okay.
IPG, you do evaluating exam, right? Evaluating exam is like $1,000, right?
What's the
And
difference?
Then, so you get evaluated first, right? Before you
what?
actually qualify to be a pharmacist. So they have to evaluate you to make sure you can actually write the qualifying exam, right? So the evaluating exam is mainly like science stuff, I guess.
Okay.
Right? Like background information. So
English?
I don't think you get tested on
Okay.
English, right? They might ask you to submit other
That's like
approved
by
English.
default, right? Like it's written in English. And
Yeah, so it's in English, obviously,
So.
right? But I mean, you need to prove that your education is sufficient or equivalent to Canadian pharmacy
Okay.
education. I think that's what evaluating exam is,
Okay.
right? And then afterwards, you write the qualifying exam. So for Canadian graduates, you don't actually have to write the evaluating exam. You just go straight to the qualifying exam,
Right.
right? The qualifying exam is actually quite expensive. So there's the PEBC MCQ, right? That's like $855.
You're looking at the website right now?
I am looking at the website right now.
Okay, so sorry, PBC, MCQ, that's the written, right?
That's the written, yeah. They call part one,
825?
855
That's not bad.
for pharmacists. And then there's the OSCE, which is $1,915.
Okay, never mind. So how much is that total?
The total, I cannot do math right now. Math is very difficult.
So 800 plus what?
855 plus 1915. to write the qualifying exam.
Wow.
Right?
I don't remember it costing that much.
I think it was almost $2,000 when we were
Was
writing
it?
it.
I was thinking 1,500.
1,500. I don't know, with inflation maybe.
That's quite a bit. $1,900 for what?
Just for the OSCE.
For the actors?
For the actors, yes. Maybe we should be actors instead. Oh, actually, no. People assessing them, they get paid, right? No,
Okay, true.
exactly. The pharmacists. So
Wow. So that's $2,700?
So registered technician also have to write the exam as well, right?
Okay.
Their MCQ is like $575, and then they don't call it OSCE, they call it like OSB, right? Like practical, whatever. It's $1,215, so that's expensive as well.
So where does all this money go?
PEBC.
No, but I mean, like, is that the operating cost, or is there any leftover?
I'm sure there's like leftover. It's
Are
like
they
a
a-
business, right?
But are they a private organization or is it public?
I don't believe they're public.
They don't have to disclose their financials then.
I don't know.
Okay,
So
I'm just wondering how did they come up with these figures?
and I found something interesting.
Yeah.
There's miscellaneous costs, right? Certificate
Miscellaneous costs.
replacement. So apparently we got a certificate after we passed. I didn't know that.
We got issue a certificate, right?
But that certificate is useless. It's not a license. You cannot work with a certificate.
Is it the one you hang on like in the pharmacy?
No.
That big one?
No. That's the OCP license. So it's a certificate from PEBC.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. What do you do with this? Like,
I don't know where it is actually.
Exactly. I don't know.
I remember getting it though.
Really?
How much is it?
$100 to replace it.
Why would you want to replace it?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, anyway,
I heard OCB doesn't even give you those.
OCP doesn't even give
Like
you
whatever you call it.
the
Your
stickers?
license, not just the stickers. The actual they can print it out for you,
Okay.
right? Saying that OCP.
Okay.
But they used to give you like this huge one, right? Where you
Yes.
can hang up or you can
They
frame.
still give you one, but small, right? Right now, I think it's a small one now.
I don't know if they give it to you by default. I think you can print it out yourself.
Really? You have to print it yourself
Something like
now?
that, yeah.
Wow, you pay like so much.
Otherwise,
fee.
you gotta pay for it.
Oh, it used to be.
I
huge.
heard about that. Someone
That's
told me
right.
about that.
That's right. I've seen the new ones. They're pretty small. So, if you guys are listening, our license is actually pretty big.
It's huge.
It
And
is
you used to
literally
put these
big.
stickers on, right?
Yes, you used to put stickers on.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, which denoted like each
Which year that you
worked.
renew
Yeah,
it,
that's right.
and you didn't get your license revoked, then you get your sticker and put it
Well,
on.
something to be proud of. Like I remember some pharmacies they had like stickers that went all around the border.
That
of
just
the
shows
frame.
how old they are. So,
Wow, yeah. Well, there's confidence in that, right?
and
Like,
they are really, and they're still not retired. So,
I mean, customers like that.
like the old pharmacists,
Yeah,
they're
like
probably
veterans,
angrier.
eh?
Veterans. I find the old pharmacists usually like either really angry or they just don't care. I'm getting towards the I don't really care. Like, okay, that's okay, whatever you say. Okay, so, yeah. Anyway, so that's the fee
Okay.
to write the exam, right?
Yeah, that's
so
quite a bit.
the OSCE, the PBC, they run twice a year, right? For technician and for pharmacists, actually, right? Pharmacists in May and November, and the PEBC and the OSCE is coming up, right? The end of May, I think. So, do you remember when we actually wrote the exam? It was paper based, right?
Yes.
The MCQ.
Yeah.
They changed
2
it to
days.
computer based.
Wasn't it 2 days?
That's correct.
Yeah.
It was 2 days. So they changed it to computer based now.
I just remember first day, yeah, you go and write it, and then you're freaking out. You go and
Because-
study,
Because
and you come back the next day
Yeah, that's right. Back
to
to
write
back
part
days.
2,
That's right.
which was kind of strange.
And you freak out even more, and you wait 3 days, and you write the OSCE.
Which is kind of weird because then it's kind of like you got a preview of what it's like already.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much you can really do. But wasn't it kind of strange that you got to go off, take a sleep, and then come back and write it again?
It was actually a very interesting experience.
Why don't you
You're
just
right.
make it one day?
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I actually studied at all. I didn't study
Just went and took a nap.
in between the days. Yeah. What else were you supposed to study? You finish studying for like you finish writing the exam.
I just felt like I had
half
to do
of it,
something.
and study. So there was the multiple choice, right?
Yeah.
That's right. So it used to be 2 days, and it was 150 questions each. So 2 days, there were 300 questions. But you know what's interesting? I'm not sure if you remember. Most of the questions, actually not most, but a lot of the questions don't even count, right?
That's what I was told, but I couldn't
Even
tell which
now.
questions didn't count.
Of course, they're not going to star it for you. So
Like you would see each question, you're like, oh, I have to get it right.
that's the right mentality, though.
Could you tell? Could you tell like some questions were like way off or
No.
harder? No.
No.
You would. Do you remember discussing with everyone afterwards? Were we actually allowed to? We can, right? We could, right?
We're not supposed to.
No, but I mean like between day 1, day 2.
But there are like 150 of them, right? Like,
Okay.
how many of them do you actually recall, even right after the exam? So
You might recall like a handful. It's not going to make or break your
yeah.
pass and fail.
So I just remember it was very difficult.
What is the pass rate? Like what's percentage do you need to get to pass?
There's no passing mark.
Is it like with your cohort, like how well you did?
I think so.
It's bell curved?
Yeah.
Did they actually say that on the website or?
They didn't say that. So
Interesting.
there's no passing mark.
But what's the bell curve? Like do you have to be in the top 60%, 70, 80? Not 80.
Top
70?
80%? I don't really know.
60.
So
50?
you should ask PBC.
Well, do they actually say like how many people pass or fail?
No.
Oh, okay.
But the pass rate in U of T was actually pretty high before. Right?
Someone told me that as well, but
now it's decreasing,
oh,
declining.
Is that true?
Yes. It's
Oh
true.
no.
So apparently we have one of the lower pass rates in Canada right now.
Versus what, other institutions or just overall?
Other Canadian institutions, I think. So, but that was like 5 years ago when people told me that. I'm not really sure if that's true. I think it used to be around 98, 99%.
Wow. Okay.
For us, right?
Yeah.
So, and now it's like closer to 90 or even like below, I've heard. So,
I don't know. Back then, I didn't think well, since we're talking about the written, I didn't think it was that bad.
I found
Do
the
you
written exam to be a lot more difficult
Yeah.
than the OSCE, yes. So,
I thought the OSCE was.
although I have to say this,
Trickier.
most people fail because of the OSCE that I know of, right? Not because of the written exam. So yeah, so the written exam, I think we did 300 questions in total, and I think only 200 of them actually counted, something like that. And they ask you all kinds of stuff on the written exam, right? There are questions on like clinical knowledge, obviously, decision making, even ethical situation, calculations, pharmacokinetics.
There were a handful of like
statistics.
calculation questions.
There's a lot, yes. So there's a lot of stuff
Right.
on the multiple choice, and some of them were quite difficult as well.
When did you start preparing for it?
I want to say after the rotation, which was the end of April.
Really?
Yeah,
I think I started when did our rotation start? January?
January.
I think I started in January.
Okay,
Like
I started
not like
reading.
hardcore studying.
Yeah. So
but
I did start
reviewing.
reading a little bit, right? So because my hospital rotation was actually not in Toronto, so it was actually pretty chilled. So I had time to study
Yeah.
during the hospital rotation. But hardcore studying probably the last month, right after the rotation.
Honestly, I think for the MCQ, all I studied really was therapeutic choices,
That's right.
which is the modern day like RxTX. So we used to have this book called Therapeutic Choices,
No, they call it CTC now, right? Is it what it's called?
Compendium of No, it's just all online now. They don't even have a book for you. They don't print it out anymore.
Don't print it out anymore. You
no,
cannot even buy it.
No, it's on ecps.ca or something like that, RxTX.
Oh,
And they have chapters.
okay.
You can't even buy it. Exactly. You can buy
You
old.
can't buy
No, they do sell it. They sell old editions. But who
Old
wants to
editions.
study that?
They sell old editions.
Old
What's
editions.
the point of old editions?
I don't know.
Is that true? Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
But you can still buy it.
Well, I have one. I don't need to buy one. So, I already
But now
have
there's a lot more information. Because for us, it was just this one book, right? The Bible, basically, we called it.
it was. You know why they don't actually sell it anymore? I think that because information change all the time now.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easier to update it. And errors.
Yeah.
Some of it, there's errors.
Yeah.
And
Once you have like, imagine if you print 1 or 2 lines wrong, and you have to like reprint
doesn't look good. Right?
3,000 pages of waste of money too, right? So, okay, we could talk about that after, how to prepare for the exam.
Okay.
So that was MCQ we talked about, right? And then there's OSCE part, which is the oral part. They call it part 2. So when we did it, again, we did it 15 years ago, so it might be a little bit different now.
Probably. You said it's digital now, right?
No, OSCE is not digital.
No.
OSCE is
Sorry,
in person.
MCQ.
MCQ is digital now, that's right.
Let's go back to that. Like how
1 day, 200 questions.
1 day, 200 questions?
Yeah. So
Hold on. So you still got to go to the exam center.
I've heard that you can actually do it in, I don't really know.
Someone must be watching you though, right?
I think so.
Okay.
But can you do it at home or whatever? I heard. Yes, I think they changed the rules,
Oh,
right? So,
wow.
or they have a lot more centers to choose from.
I
I'm not
mean,
really
during
sure.
COVID, maybe I can see that.
So, if you guys are
happening,
listening, let us know. I don't really know because we're ancient.
But it's 1 day, 200 questions now.
I think
Okay.
so. 4.5 hours, right? So that's what. my
Whereas for
information-
us, I think was it
3 hours each day.
that's
So-
it? Are you sure?
Is it?
I felt like it was a long time.
It was 150 question though, so not quite 200,
Mm.
but it was 300 in total. So 150 each day, 3 hours each
3 hours
day.
each
So
day,
6 hours
6
in total.
hours.
Yeah. So I think 3 hours, it's pretty much, I was going to say the maximum, but actually now it's 4.5 hours. I feel like you start to lose focus after 3 hours, right? That's why a lot of the lectures are up to only 3 hours. So we have a couple of comments, right? Really, see, there you go. You can do it remotely.
Right. Comment says, yeah, it can be done remote via proctoring or in person on the computer.
Okay, so how are you going to proctor this situation? Okay, so let's say if you're doing it on a computer, I stand in front of the computer, like, or I guess like behind your computer, and you read out the question, and I start doing like.
We're talking about the MCQ?
Yes, MCQ.
You need a webcam up, right?
Okay,
they need to see you.
They're seeing you, but
Yeah.
then I'm standing here, like. So the computer doesn't actually see me, and you're just like reading the question out loud verbally. Okay, which of the following is correct, right? And then
No, I think they probably watch you do the exam. So you're still reading off the screen, and you're probably just selecting the answers.
you are, yes.
But they have to watch to make sure you don't have any like material, and they have to see your screen as well. So they have to see what's on your screen.
But here's what I'm saying. Like, if another person stands in front of you, like, they don't see you in the computer.
Why would you be reading out every question if you're just doing the exam yourself?
You're reading the question. Okay, which of all is true? You're just thinking out loud, right? Some people do that.
Or you can mirror it. That's true. What you're saying is they're watching you, but they're saying I'm in the same room as you.
So we're in this same setup right now, right? So I'm doing the exam.
I see your screen too, and I'm
you
feeding
don't
you
have to,
the answers.
You don't have to see my screen. I'm reading out the question.
No, but
I'm kind of
that-
like thinking to myself.
That's strange. Why are you reading out the question?
Oh, I'm reading out the stuff that I don't actually know, right? I was like,
We can just screen share. I'm just texting you the answer.
But they will see your screen, right? No, they're like.
Oh, that's
prompting
true.
you.
That's true.
So exactly. So I'm just saying that there's
Screen
a way
share,
to
and then
do-
I'll just hold up cue cards.
So I'm just saying there might be ways to cheat without.
But you
doing
know
on
what?
the
Okay,
screen.
hold up. 200 questions. How long do you get?
4.5 hours.
4.5?
Yes.
How many? What does that average to each question?
I cannot do math. So it's 240 plus 30 minutes, 270 minutes, right?
Okay.
So 270 minutes, you do 200 questions. So you have like over a minute per question,
But not 2 minutes.
not 2 minutes.
Okay, that's pretty quick, right? Even if you have someone looking up the answers for you and they're feeding you the answers, that's going to take so much time. So you pretty much have to know what you're doing.
Most of them.
Most
That's
of
true.
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know what? If you guys are thinking about all these ways to cheat, you might as well just study, right? It's true. So
Well, how do they even know it's you? A picture.
there's a picture. You have to put in your picture, right? No.
Okay.
On the thing.
But I can get AI to, modify it on the webcam.
Why would you use AI to modify on your webcam? You have to make it so that it looks like the picture. Oh, you mean modify you? So
Yes,
you're writing the exam
that's-
for me,
that's
and you
right.
look like me.
Yeah.
Because of AI. I don't think the AI technology is that advanced right now. So
Yeah.
although the AI porn was pretty good, right? I don't know. I didn't see anything. Anyway, so that was the MCQ.
Or just a really cheap quality webcam.
Mm-hmm.
If everything's just kind of blurry, right? They can't fault you at that. This is all I can afford.
That's all you can afford. That's right. You're not a pharmacist yet.
Anyways, yeah, you're right. We're spending way too much time thinking about how to cheat.
That's right. See, that's why it's good that you guys didn't hang out with us that much. That's what we talk
We
about. all the
couldn't
time.
cheat. The old-fashioned way, it was like paper, and you had to be at the exam center.
That's true.
You had to have like your ID out.
Didn't you?
They could
didn't
just
you
walk
hear,
around
didn't you
looking
hear
at-
about like people cheating in undergrad, like in our years. They were like cheating. There were like a few pretty famous cases actually of like massive cheating.
Oh. You mean like during PBCs?
No, not PBC. Undergrad.
Oh, in undergrad,
Yeah,
okay.
in U of T. So
I remember hearing about that. Not our year,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe 5-6 years ago. There was like a big cheating thing, and then this is U of T
oh, a pharmacy.
pharmacy.
Okay,
Yeah, and the whole class got kind of reprimanded.
really? They still graduated though.
They
So-
did, but I heard it was a really big deal at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they did though.
I think we're having way too much fun talking about cheating.
we are.
So
So back
let's
to the
move on.
topic at hand.
OSCE. So there were 20 stations at that time when we were doing the OSCE. 4 rest stations, which made 16 stations.
I can't believe you remember all this.
And out of the 16, not every single one of them counted. Again, some of them were actually standard setting.
Oh, I did not know
stations.
that. I thought they all
Yes.
counted.
No. But if you actually pay attention after the OSCE, you kind of figure out at least a couple of them that were standard setting,
Really?
Right? So yes,
I don't think I could figure that out.
the difficulty level was a little different.
Really?
Maybe
I thought it was all
it
hard.
was so traumatizing that it was so hard,
I
right?
thought it was all pretty nerve wracking.
But
Like
yeah.
I thought the written, again, going in, I thought the written would be hard and OSCE would be easier for me.
Okay.
So then we did the written first.
And
And
you
I'm
found
like,
it like not too hard?
not too hard. So
Okay.
then I'm like, okay, this should be a breeze then.
Okay.
But then it turned out to be not. Like it was
Really?
the opposite for me.
Okay. I found it written to be quite hard actually. The OSCE was okay.
But you found the stations okay?
Yeah. Except you were kind of nervous. I was kind of nervous when I was doing it, right? And I will share with you guys a story about my OSCE as well.
Oh, okay.
So a couple of them actually. There are two things that actually that I can talk about.
I do remember it was very fair though, because at the end, do you remember that you get to sit in the room and they give you the sheet, and you can write stuff like
Oh, feedback?
like something like if you wanted to add to any of your stations, something like that. Is that true?
Did they do that? No.
I think so.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
I remember that
Really?
because I was writing vigorously essays at the very end.
Okay, hold
To-
on.
to-
Did
to-
we write
to
did we
plead
write
my-
the same exam? Like did you pay extra to do that?
No, there was other people in there.
Okay, do you know there is a fee that you can pay for them to like regrade your exam? It's true. I was reading $100. Like you can regrade.
You
your
don't remember
exam.
that?
Oh, 200. I did not remember that. I remember every station, but I don't remember that part.
After you've done the stations, you go into a room and you sit down with like whatever group you are assigned. Like, yeah, you just sit there and then they give you a sheet of paper
What are you talking?
and you plead your case basically.
I probably didn't
Like
do
just
that
say you
part.
screwed up one station
I'll
so
be like,
hard.
whatever. Like I just
left.
I just left. So
That's why not everyone was in that room.
oh really? I wasn't in that.
I just remember sitting around that table and then they give you the sheet of paper. And I was like, oh, yes.
But you didn't remember
Maybe-
your stations, but you remember that part.
I remember that part very vividly. Yes.
Really?
I remember like writing a lot about like each station and like pleading my case of what I could have done better.
Really?
You don't remember that?
I did not remember
Okay.
that part. So that's actually quite interesting.
Interesting.
Did I actually do that? I must
You
not have.
just left.
Maybe they're like, if you want to add anything to your station,
That's
please come
probably
over here.
That's
I'll be
probably
like,
it. That's probably it.
no, it's okay.
And I'm
just
like,
gonna go
sign
home.
me up.
So that's interesting because I used to stay until the end of pretty much every single exam.
You did. I remember that.
Yeah, yes.
Because I remember I would wait for you.
Yes, that's right.
And then I realized that you're just going to stay till the
I'm
end
just
no
gonna
matter
stay till
what.
the
I'm
end.
just going to stay there.
There are only a couple of times I actually left early. One time it was because we had to. It was the last exam I remember. I think third year undergrad. It was so
wow.
cold. It was freezing cold because we were gonna have lunch afterwards, right? It was like minus 25, and then the whole room, entirely, literally, whole room of like 100 people left, and then I was like pretty much the last 3 or 4 students there. I was like, what am I doing there? Let's leave. So that was it. I left early for the pharmacy exam, the admission test, whatever.
Oh, okay.
That I left early because I didn't think I was going to be a pharmacist anyway. So.
And look at you. Here you are.
And we talked about that. Yes, I ruined my life. So
What are you talking about? You got a great practice.
it's okay. So anyway, no, I can't complain too much. So yeah, back to the licensing exam. I think we talked about a lot of the stuff already, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't. I guess we can't say exactly what's on the exam. Is that right? I'm
We
not
can
allowed
talk
to say.
about yeah, we're not talking about we're not allowed to talk about the content of the exam, but we can talk about maybe what
can I
we
talk
used to
about?
study, how to pass the exam.
Okay, maybe we should talk about our like own experience then.
Oh, you know what?
Will
The
help
best
us.
way to actually pass the exam is to be an epi student at my store. It's true.
Where's your
My
store?
students have 100% pass rate here.
Oh,
My
okay.
students have 100% pass rate in PEBC. So unfortunately, if you have already finished epi, then there is nothing you can do because you cannot do epi again, right? Do you know why they have such a high pass rate? That's because I told them if they don't pass, I would defriend them.
Oh no.
So I know it's so devastating.
Or you'll never hire them?
Not because they like me.
You'll never
right?
hire them.
I don't say that I will never hire them.
Okay.
But although
You can give them a second
only like
chance.
5 days or whatever to fill up like the schedule, I don't actually have that many pharmacists working.
Okay.
Right. So
Like weekends.
no, the
Guess
biggest
you're
thing was because I'm very antisocial, right? We already established that. Imagine being defriended by a very antisocial person, right? I'm like already on the bottom of the totem pole. Like
Do you prepare your API
end
students
of
for
the food chain.
PBBC though? I don't mention that at all.
no,
Usually.
but like the way that you
Unless
actually
it kind of
work,
comes out.
it makes you think like a pharmacist, right? So
Okay.
that's important.
But do you think the
passing
PBC tests you to think like a pharmacist?
Yes.
Okay.
let's put it this way. I think you do better if you actually think like a pharmacist. What would I do in this situation? What do a pharmacist do in this situation?
I think PBC is like, from what I remember, it's like just heavy therapeutic base.
The
There was some,
choice?
the written.
Yeah, a lot of therapeutics. Yeah,
True, OSCE would be more to what you were saying then.
yes.
Like if you were a pharmacist,
Communication.
what would you do in this situation? Right. Whereas the written was more like textbook, clinical, algorithms, knowing drug tables.
So a lot of therapeutics, obviously, but there are also a lot of
I didn't
calculation.
feel like there was that many calculations.
Really, I found
There was
I
like a
found
handful of those
calculation
sprinkled on top.
pretty important actually. Calculation. So if you know calculation, because you either know it or you don't, right? If you actually know it, it's actually pretty easy marks, like those parts, right? So
You want to talk about like how we each prepared?
yeah,
if
like
you
what
remember?
reference we use
Okay.
to
go
study.
first.
How about that? So mainly I use therapeutic choices, right? I think it's called like CTC, right? Or like
So this
e-therapeutics
is
right now.
MCQ. We start with MCQ.
MCQ, yeah. So I just read therapeutic choices from beginning to the end. I pretty much read it like 4 or 5 times. So
For all our listeners out there, Milson remembered the exact page too.
I
If
do
you were
not
to randomly tell them a fact.
that was exaggeration. But I read it so many times that I actually remember which chapter came after which chapter and then which section. it
You
is.
remember the page. I remember that.
So I try not to memorize it, right? But I read it so many times that I actually started memorizing some of the stuff inside. So I use that mainly. I also use RX files as well. I find that therapeutic choices is quite lacking in the side effects department. I think RX files is pretty good. But RX files has a lot of information inside. It's actually very hard to use all the information. So you have to be somewhat selective, I find, right? So those are the 2 main resources that I use. I also studied the calculation textbook. I don't know if you guys still have calculations in school right now.
Is there a red book
Textbook.
for us?
There's a red book, yeah. The calculation textbook. I actually read through how to do like some of the fancy calculations. And obviously I forgot how to do all of them right now. All I need to do is like 1 TID for 7 days. That's like 21. So that's
Finding
all the
molar
math.
mass of things and
Molar
stuff
mass,
like
that's
that.
right. Yeah. Like how many, like, I don't know, CAD
Milli equivalents.
milli equivalent, magnesium, like times 2, whatever, 2 plus, things like, yeah. So I actually knew all that going to the exam as well. There are some pharmacokinetics as well. They did give you a sheet of reference, right? I find it important if you actually know how to use the reference paper. Imagine if you have the pharmacokinetics formula in front of you, but you don't actually know how to use them. That would be the most tragic thing, right? So make sure you guys actually know how to use it, right? Know what the formula means. So there are a lot of kinetics questions too, I think. And they're not extremely hard. You just need to know the formula.
What's an example of that? Maybe like a...
Half-life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
was thinking like, I don't know, renal adjustment, Crocott. Like they don't expect you to memorize that, right?
No. Everything, I think most of the formula is given, right?
Yeah.
So they'll give you
There's like a sheet like that.
like a drug half-life, and then like if you start at this time, like how much you have, kind of thing. It's very similar to the kinetics that you actually learn in school as well, right? So, so things like that. That's what I study pretty much. I also studied random stuff. For some reason, I actually studied detox as well. I have a sheet. I remember there's like a table that I made.
Detox?
Yeah.
I
So
didn't do
like,
that
what
at
happened
all.
if you actually overdose on like the following list of medications?
Oh, wow.
Right. So
Wait, did we even learn that in school?
no, but I think I saw it on one of the practice tests.
No.
So
You held this information from me.
did I?
Yeah, I didn't know this.
I remember that. I thought I sent you everything. What are you talking about? I won't trust your memory. That's okay. So we already established that I have better memory, so I'm right.
I probably just forgot about those questions.
You even said that we actually got to write whatever you want to add to the station at the end.
No, that is very true. It's
That-
true. That's
Are you
for
sure?
sure true.
That's not PBC.
I feel like if they didn't have that component, I might have failed.
really
the
that's not
practical
PBC.
component.
No, it has to be like
No,
from
no,
the
no, no,
faculty.
no,
like
it's
the,
not. It's not.
It has to be like
Faculty
from the
never gave a
PEL
second
exam.
chance like
What?
that, no.
Really?
The
Okay.
labs? Yeah, right.
Okay. We need to do a poll with our friends and see if any of them remember like doing that.
I mean, I think MCQ, same thing. I just read therapeutic choices front to back multiple times. I think by the end of it, like it started in January, and by like May, yeah, I probably read it 4 or 5 times. But back then, I think the content was also not as much as now.
So it's easier to actually get through.
Because eventually, I think after a few iterations after our year, they had to split into, I think, 2 volumes.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas for us, it was just this one book.
But it was like 2,000 something pages, I think.
Yeah, but it's a small book.
It's a small book. You're right. So
Well, I didn't think it was that bad. But I think that's all I studied. I didn't study anything else.
to be honest, I think reading that was actually quite useful because we read through some of the chapters that we never actually learned in school. So at that time, they didn't actually teach about ADHD, anorexia, and things like that
Raynaud's.
in school.
Random stuff like that,
yeah,
right?
that's right. So,
But what was good was I think it was important to know, obviously, high level of each topic, but also knowing the algorithms, as well as I remember studying the drug tables really closely, and I thought that paid off a lot as well.
yeah, the decision-making process kind of thing, right? Like you use this or this, whatever. The
Yes.
treatment options, first
Yeah.
line, second line.
But also the drug tables at the end. They didn't list everything, but they did have relevant information, and sometimes they have comments about each drug that's specific to that drug.
I like the summary.
and I
I like the content because you know how they summarize the condition, and they talk about certain risk factor, red flags, and stuff like that. So I did read the drug table, like you said. I supplemented with RX files in terms of side effect because therapeutic choices, drug table, side effect is very lacking. So
I think other than that book, I studied calculations book, and that was probably the last month. I think I did that. Last minute, probably last couple of weeks, just did some calculation stuff just before going in. But yeah, mostly for me, written it was therapy choices.
So
That's
calculation
it.
wasn't too bad, honestly, on the
I don't think
exam.
it was that bad.
But you guys have to know percentage calculation, percentage conversion.
Just know that whole book, if they still have a book, calculations book.
Yeah, that book is good, right? So
But for the OSCE, I don't think I prepared. I didn't really prepare much. I think I was too confident going into that, so I didn't really prepare.
because you're actually very good at communicating, I think, right? So
Well, obviously not, because I went in and I started freaking out.
So the OSCE, I did. What I did was I went through CPS, how to use CPS, right? Not actually read the entire CPS, but do you guys
Oh,
actually
that's right.
know?
Yeah, they have
do you guys
references,
actually know what is in each section of the CPS? What can the CPS actually give you? Because if you actually walk into the OSCE and you see a CPS in front of you, do you know what you can actually find inside?
That's what. Yeah, true. Did you
Right.
practice flipping through that?
Yeah.
Because I did not. I didn't.
No, I actually
Until you walk in and it's just like the whole book's in front of you.
I actually practiced looking at the first few sections.
Okay.
So the biggest part of the CPS is obviously the drug monograph, right? Organized by alphabetically. But that part everybody knows. But do you guys know what's actually in front of those parts? There are actually different sections in the CPS as well that gives you different random information. I don't actually think I actually have to use any of those sections, but it's good to know what you will get on the exam.
I wonder nowadays though, like everything's electronic.
That's true.
Do you think they actually still give them a hard copy, or
I
you just
don't
look it up
actually know.
online?
Maybe they give them like electronic reference. I'm not really sure.
To be honest, I think that'll be more fair because in practice, you have access to electronic references.
Although you could just have the most updated version of CPS that's acceptable by OCP, right? So what if you do a relief shift in a pharmacy? They only have a CPS, so you need to know how to like flip through the pages, right?
You need to know whether it's whether it's a digital version or a hard copy. Then you should still know if it's on the website where to find the information. Right?
So they don't necessarily give you the entire CPS. Yes, hard copy. That's a
Let's
comment.
comment here. Yes, hard
Yes.
copy. Okay.
So they don't necessarily give you the CPS, but they might give you sections of CPS photocopy as well. The entire CPS book. Sometimes they give you
I
different.
love those
reference-
stations
Those stations.
because then you see the photocopy there,
And you know
it's
like-
gonna be
it's like
about
shorter,
that.
right? There are also some other references on the table as well. Anything that's like CPHA recommended, not necessarily the CPS. It could be other reference as well. It could be like herbal interaction drug stuff like that. So you just have to flip through it basically.
Honestly, I think the best practice for that is just like doing role playing, whether with your peers or just through your pharmacy education. Like for us, U of T, I think prepared us very well for that because we did labs throughout the years.
Yeah.
And I think that was just adequate preparation already.
So I would say this. Actually, I do agree. Going back to actually the for both the part 1 and part 2, so MCQ and OSCE part of the PEBC, your whole 4-year degree basically is gearing you towards passing the PEBC exam, right? So even the multiple choice part. I know some people actually study off class notes as well, going to write the thing, which
I didn't
actually was
bother.
helpful.
I
You
didn't look
bother?
at any of that.
Because there are some statistic question actually on the exam too. So, and we did a statistics course. That's the reason why they have the course, because they ask you those questions on the PBC, right? And then in the OSCE part, just think about the pharmacy practice lab, right? So they are useful. But I would say that the OSCE is actually much, much easier than the practice labs. Yes, much easier. But also much more likely to fail. I feel like
I thought the labs. Sorry, you're saying the OSCE? I thought the labs were easier.
Labs are easier? No, labs are harder, I think.
Because every week you knew what the topic was. And you just prepare for that topic and just go
you know
in.
what? I think they changed the lab a little bit now.
Oh.
So it's a little bit more like content based, like intense. And they
I
also
see.
have all these like problems inside, right? Which honestly, I don't feel like that's the right direction to go. That's possibly why the pass rate is lowered as well.
But you know what? Like nowadays, like we didn't go through this process, but people getting to pharmacy, they have to do MMIs.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Well, U of T, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah.
So these people who've gotten into pharmacy, they're used to going through random stations
Mm-hmm.
and not knowing what's behind that door
That's
before they
true.
go in.
You're right.
I think that's what threw me off. Like you go in and then
no, yeah.
I go in and the setup's kind of like weird. Like, oh, I didn't expect that. Or there's some random reference on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why is there 3 people sitting in this room?
So there are some advice that I can give maybe for the OSCE part. We talk about the multiple choice already, right? Pretty much the OSCE part. So interestingly, I actually started my exam on a rest station, right? So
I think I did too.
and I think
remember
it
that.
completely messed me up because the first station I went into, I thought it was the most confusing station, right? Because basically there was like a doctor that I was interacting with, and then the doctor asked me a question, right? And then I was like, okay, that's not the best thing to do. You should do this instead. And the doctor kept repeating the question.
Well,
Again,
you're the
I was like,
doctor.
well, but that's not the best thing to do, right? The best thing to do is this. And the doctor kept asking like, oh, can the patient use this? I was like, yes. It's not lethal. Like, the patient can use this, right?
Okay.
So I just felt like that completely messed me up. I was like, why is this actor behaving like this, right?
Aren't they trying to prompt you that there's a problem?
I don't know.
Okay.
So no, they just keep asking me like, can they? Because I didn't actually answer the question. But that's not the best thing to do. I was like, the best thing to do is this, right? And then they were like,
But they kept asking you the
they asked
question.
me, can I actually use this? I was like, yes. The answer is yes, actually, by the way, right? But I was like, why?
But then why they keep
behaving
asking you
this,
that?
right?
Okay.
Why are they asking me for like a third line option or like second line, third line
okay.
option when there's clearly like a better thing to actually do? I won't actually disclose the content. I actually remember the case very vividly, but I'm not actually going to tell you what was involved. But that's basically what it was. I was like, why are you asking me the third line thing?
I think I had a rest station.
Yeah.
My first station also messed me up because it was a device. And then I saw the device and I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I've counseled this so many times.
But that's not counseling, right?
So no, it was.
Yes.
And then afterwards, like they give you how many minutes?
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
And I looked at the, I guess, assessor. Like, I'm done.
Okay.
Right, I'm done. I got this. Right, I'm done. I've counseled this so many times,
And you figure out something was wrong.
and I figured out something was wrong.
Yeah.
Then I'm awkwardly like, oh, since we have some time, can I just add this one more thing? And the guy just stone cold looked at me and just shakes their head like, nope, you can't.
So
That messed me up so bad.
So what would be your advice then? Don't wrap up the case.
Okay, when you go in, even if you think you know the answer, just take some time before you open your mouth, look around you, see what reference in front of you or whatever device it is
That's actually very good.
before you
Yes.
actually even say anything.
Yes.
And try to use up the time, even if you feel like, you can always spend extra time, and they don't rush you
Hey,
to say
if
you're
I were
done.
the assessor, I'll be pissed. You're wasting my time. Like, I just want to like finish this assessment.
Well, you gotta sit there for 7 minutes anyways.
I do, but then if I finish the assessment, whatever passed, and then like I don't have to do anything. But you're talking nonstop for 7 minutes. I have to like listen to everything that you say
Okay.
to make sure you're not saying anything wrong.
Well,
right?
I can just sit there in silence and say I'm not ready yet. I got 7 minutes though.
That's true. So
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that'll be my advice. Just take your time.
Don't listen to my advice. It's actually very good advice that you're
And
giving.
I think usually each station does have a problem. Whereas I went in, oh, for you, really? Okay. For me, I remember each station did have a problem, Whereas
I think
when I
you're
went
just creating problems
when I went into that station, I thought I knew it and there was no problem. And then I sit around and it's like, oh, I feel like there is a problem now. But I already told them that I finished.
So you guys obviously are not in the room with us. I'm just like shaking my head. So the thing is, there's not always a problem in each of them, right?
I feel like for me, I have. Oh, maybe
know why?
maybe everyone's.
That's why you're writing your comment at the end. You're like, there's no problem. I was creating problem. Okay, please remember that. You know what? The issue with the pharmacy education right now is we do have a question. We'll actually get to you after. So the issue with the pharmacy curriculum right now is that it's gearing students towards finding problems, right? But I feel like the OSCE is actually very much similar to real life practice, which means that there isn't always a problem, right? I mean, there are more problems in the OSCE than in real life, but in real life, there's not always a problem. Why are we creating problems, right? Thinking that there's always a problem. Sometimes you just go in and counsel. Just ask the patient, what's the issue? Tell me, right? Like, let me help you. How can I help you?
Hey, listen, you tell them to talk long enough, they're going to tell you a problem.
That's right. People complain.
It may not be related to pharmacy.
That's true. So let's answer the question, right? What's the method of information gathering?
Question. What was your method for information gathering is a question in the chat. I guess what are they referring to?
Like during
From
the
the
OSCE,
patient?
right? Yeah. So
I guess
from
it
the
depends
patient.
on what the question is.
So the first thing to do, actually, your advice was actually good. So go into the station and kind of assess the situation first, right? Introduce yourself. I'm the pharmacist, whatever. I don't know if you're allowed to see your pharmacist when you're not, but I think we say we're
You're
pharmacists.
role playing that you're a pharmacist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, hi, my name is Milson. I'm the pharmacist. How can I help you today? Right. And then they will tell you, okay, I'm a doctor or I'm a nurse or I'm a patient. I'm the mom. So you can kind of, okay, so tell me. And then they're like, okay, so this is the issue. They will tell you the issue, really. Don't start talking about like,
Let them talk.
Let them talk. Exactly. Let them talk. Right. Ask them to talk. Actually. Okay. So tell me about the issue. Right. So tell me what brought you in today. So they will actually tell you. Sometimes they will disclose the entire case pretty much like right in front of you within the first 10 seconds if you actually let them talk. So, and then you go back to gathering information. Right. So letting them talk is part of gathering information as well. So if you're referring to gathering information as in the what you learn in school. I
don't remember
you do
that.
Like no, like allergies, like medical conditions and stuff like that.
Scholar hams, is that the
What is that?
that's the modern day? That's
So-
what my students tell me.
So you
I don't think I ever used any of that.
Oh really?
I think it was just like you said, I just listened to them and then just
Oh, you mean
ask
during the OSCE, right?
any kind of lab or OSCE.
Oh, okay.
Whereas I think what this question is getting at is, did you use any kind of like acronym to help you out?
No, but I had like the process in my mind, right?
Yeah.
So you go in and ask them what's going on, and then look at the table in front of you because sometimes, actually, you know what? All the times, whatever you need is in front of you, right?
Yes.
So you can kind of see what's going on. So sometimes you actually will see a patient profile.
They're very
I think.
fair, actually. I think
They are.
in that regard, like
Yeah.
the information that you need, they will have provided it to you right there.
Whether you can actually look it up in the CPS or whatever reference, it's your problem, right? But the answer is there. They're not going to trick you, right? So
Look for clues in those references as well.
sometimes there's like printed paper, like I said, right?
it's just like
different things.
it's like 2 pages from a chapter.
Yeah, and then you just read it, right? Just tell them, okay, you gather information first. Obviously, the same way, any allergies, medical conditions, what medications do you take, OTC. I'm not really big on the lifestyle thing. I mean, unless it's relevant to the case, you could ask, but you're just wasting time.
I
You
mean,
have 7
obviously there's
minutes.
7 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
you-
So like
you're
you
not-
said, you just sit there, you let them talk, and what they're saying is pointing towards what the problem is already,
And
if
then
there's a
just-
problem.
and then just gather the information from them,
Yeah.
and then very basic gather information, and then try to figure out what's wrong. If you need to take some time, just let them know. Okay, so now I'm just going to take some time to actually review all the information that I've gathered, right? And so that I can give you the best advice.
Yeah, I
they're
don't
always
think-
going to say yes.
I don't
right?
think I had a systematic approach. Like you said, I just listen to them on whatever problem presents. I look down and see what references are there and see if I can solve whatever question or problem it is based on those references.
That's pretty much it. The process, right? Like
Yeah, whereas in school, they might teach you like this whole algorithm or
I
systematic
think you ask like what-
process in mind.
like how much cigarette you smoke, how much alcohol do you drink, and how much do you exercise, right? Things like that. I don't think it's actually absolutely
Like it's a
necessary.
very structured approach
Yeah.
to interviewing, right? Whereas with the 7 minutes, like honestly, I think you need to solve it within 5 minutes probably. To have a buffer zone of 2 minutes left. So I don't remember going in doing like long interviews of each person or station.
Most of the cases can actually be solved pretty fast,
Yeah.
I would say, right? So just keep that in mind. Don't panic, right? Take my advice. Even if you didn't do well in one station, don't think about that station. I actually made that mistake. I kept thinking about the first station I did.
Me too.
And then it really affected me for like 2 or 3 stations afterwards as
Yeah,
well,
it does.
even though they're not that hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, does that kind of answer your question on how to gather information? Hopefully it did, right? So, I mean, you could go through like all the lifestyle and stuff, but just think about that. You only have 7 minutes, right? You don't want to waste too much time.
Yeah. I'll ask just the relevant questions to what the problem is being presented in front of you.
Honestly, I cannot say for sure 100% because I've never been an assessor in PEBC or OSCE. I feel like if you solve the case, even if you didn't ask all the lifestyle questions, it's fine.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Main thing is
the thing is
solving that DTP if there is one.
helping the patient pretty much, solving their issue, right? Sometimes their issue is not a drug therapy
Or
problem.
the doctor's question or whatever it is.
There's actually, I think, practice video, whatever posted at that time. I'm not sure if they still have it. Make sure you guys watch it because the level that you need to function at is quite similar to that video that's posted. On that note, actually do the practice test as well, posted by PBC. I actually did it when we were students. There were only 30 questions. I'm pretty sure they have like 100 questions right now. So the level is, I wouldn't say similar, but at least you might get some similar questions on the exam, right?
Nothing
So
will prepare you for the real thing, but I guess that's as close as you can get. I mean,
Mentally.
we're sitting there with a few hundred questions in front of you, and stakes are pretty high. Like nothing, you can't be 100% prepared for that. Like, I don't know if you remember.
on the, you mean the multiple choice, right?
Yeah, I remember doing the practice exam. It's like, that's easy.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
There
And
you go,
then-
and it's like, oh, this
completely different.
feels a bit different now.
Yeah, no. So some of the questions are on the same level. The easiest question in the exam are like similar to the practice question, I would say, right?
But like you said, on the exam, some of them are test questions. They don't count.
That's true. So
Those are the ones that can throw you off
that's
because
right.
you got to start overthinking.
So
those.
just think about this, right? If you don't know the question, just hope that it's actually a test question.
Or hope your peers don't know the answer either, and they'll just throw out the question.
So for the OSCE part, just don't panic too much, right? Even if you mess up a station, it is what it is.
Yeah,
So
move on.
can't really go back, right? So
And if I'm not imagining things, there's a sheet of paper at the end, and you can write down what you did wrong.
I think you're like imagining things, but that's okay.
No,
May-
it's very vivid in my mind.
So you know what? You guys finish writing the exam and let us know in June in a podcast that who is right.
I swear that's how I passed that because I got to write my I plead my case.
That probably
at the end.
didn't even count. How can you actually let a student actually write like what you want to add to the exam?
Because they understand that you're in a stress moment.
Maybe.
Because also in real life, if you had that interaction and you forgot something, the patient left, you can always call them.
You can call them. That's
Yeah.
true. So,
Yeah.
but you can't do that in school, right?
You can't do that in school.
Exactly. It is an assessment.
Yeah.
So, exactly. So, does that answer you guys? Do you guys have any other questions that you guys want to know about the exam or
I don't
how we
think
study?
was any of this helpful.
Probably not that much. So we're just like talking about our experience.
random.
Oh, some of the stations are actually silent station, right?
What are you
actually
talking about? Silence.
There's no actor in front of you.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yes,
But
there's
you're
almost
doing
like-
something.
Of course, you're doing something. There's rest station, and then there are silent station, as in like you're doing it on your own, right?
Rest station is just for you to sit there in silence, thinking about how you screwed up all those stations that you just did.
That's true. Yes, you also get lunch. You get lunch.
I don't remember getting lunch.
Oh, you remember that part? I remember the food. I don't remember
Hold
the
up.
comment. Yes,
When do you get lunch?
in the middle, like halfway through, you stop.
Where does food come from?
What are you talking about? Food. You paid for it. They have like sandwich.
They have sandwiches for you?
I think-
I don't remember eating.
I think they did. So it was long. The exam was long.
Dude, I don't remember eating free sandwiches.
What?
I don't. What you mean? Like in the middle of the exam, they go and feed you? Oh
I
my
think so.
gosh,
What?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't think I
Maybe
ate.
I'm hallucinating. So
I don't think I ate.
maybe. But you actually take a break at the end, like in the middle, like after 10 stations, there is actually a 15-minute break. So you actually
That
sit
sounds
in the room.
familiar.
You actually
Yeah.
sit in the same
Yeah, that
station that
sounds
you just
familiar.
finished,
Yeah, yeah.
awkwardly with the assessor
That's pretty awkward.
and the
Yeah, yeah.
patient,
Yeah.
right?
The
So
silence.
yeah. And yeah, there are a lot of random stations. So make sure you guys don't actually panic. Just read the reference in front of you. Yeah, there you go. If you guys have any specific questions, so shoot us an email, right? So we'll try to help you guys out.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think PBC actually prepared you to become a good pharmacist?
Absolutely not.
Not prepare. Actually, is it a fair exam to
like-
in evaluating to see if someone's going to be a good pharmacist?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I would say it's actually more fair than the U of T, whatever the faculty was doing.
I agree.
Right? So
Both the written and the practical together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the practical is actually very similar to how you have to behave like a pharmacist, I feel like, right? How to deal with angry patients, how to deal with like patient incompetence, maybe patient just have a question sometimes, all kinds of stuff, right? So there you go. Anyway, I think that's pretty
1
much
hour.
it. You guys have any other question? If you guys do, shoot us an email.
Pharmacyunplugged@gmail.com.
That's right. Or social media as well, if you guys prefer that way. We are actually going to do an episode on angry patients soon. Maybe not next week, but sometime in the future. So if you guys actually have any angry patient stories, feel free to submit them to us as well. We will read them, and then we will go through how we'll handle those situations as well. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So before we wrap up, this Sunday is Mother's Day. So I want to wish all the mothers, grandmothers, whatever mother figures out there, happy Mother's Day. Thanks for all your support throughout the years. You guys are amazing. So until next time.
Was your
have
mom
a good
listening to
guys.
this?
No.
Okay, I'll send it to her.
Yes. Send it to your mom. Send it to my mom.
Well,
as
no, she should listen to it. She should hear you say that. So sweet.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish her happy Mother's Day already.
Oh,
but
already.
yes. But like bigger family celebration, whatever.
All right.
Anyway, until next time, have a good week, guys.
Hey, have a good week.